So welcome to NG Fishing. So in this video we talk about ledgering. So one of the things I like fishing for pike is I like to fish a lead on the bottom. But you have to be a little bit different with pike. So with carp fishing usually lead clips and things like that. With pike, because if they feel any resistance, they quite often end up dropping the bait. So in that case, what I start using is called a running rig. So this is what I've got here. This is the setup I've got here. So on here, this is all by Fox. It's just their running rig kit. So basically, you've got a big hole on there, so the lead can run freely up and down the line. Now I use quite a heavy lead when I'm dead baiting, because basically as I cast it out, I want that lead to hit the bottom, and then when the fish picks it up, the lead will still stay still, and as you see, like, the line will easily go through it. So on the lake I'm on today is quite silty, so I'm not actually I'm gonna fish a lead, but I'm gonna fish a bait. So the lead's gonna be on the bottom like so, and my bait will be up here. So, you know, a good 2 foot off the bottom, so it'd be out the silt and stuff like that. There's plenty of ways to do this, but my favourite way is using this special little bait. Have a look at that, all the blood and stuff on that. This is a section of lamprey, if you don't know. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to make it pop up, I'm going to make it buoyant. So the easiest way to do that is to get some elasticated thread, some bait elastic. Anyone who's done any sea fishing will know what this is. Basically take the end that's cut and just wrap it up. Now all we're trying to do is just try and seal up the end a little bit. Now what I would say, guys, is you will need the bait a little bit defrosted to do this. So all I tend to do is, if I'm going to be fishing like this with a section of lamprey, I'll set the rod up, nick it on and just drop it in right by my feet, just so I can keep an eye on it, with a hook in it just in case there's a pike about, and then after a couple of minutes it will defrost slowly. So there you go, a couple of wraps on there. Now this is the dangerous bit. You take a syringe with a needle. Alright, now you're not silly, so don't hold it in your hand, because you're going to get this in your hand. Now we're going to be pumping air into this section of lamprey, so you don't want to be pumping air into yourself. So what I do is just get some air into the syringe, put it on a hard surface, so like I've got it on this box. I'll move the camera now so you can see. So you can see that, and basically put it in away from you. So push it in just under the skin and just pump that air in there, and what you'll start seeing is it will start just puffing up. Obviously if it's still a little bit frozen, it's going to make it more difficult to get the air in there, but you will see its skin will start puffing up. Now the good thing with the lamprey, it's really bloody. Obviously I'm using a head section here, and the skin's just puffing up, and what you'll find is it will go nice and tight, the skin will go nice and tight, and when that hits the water, the air will stay in, but it will start absolutely pumping the blood out. The blood of the lamprey section will just start flooding out. So just keep doing it a couple of times until the whole bait's basically puffed up, really. So that's what I go for. So, you know, so the air just sits inside it. So a couple of times when we're done. So now, like I showed you, I've got a set of trebles on there. You know, good quality wire. Again, I've done this myself using that technique I showed you in one of the other videos. So take your hooks. These are semi-barbed, so look for the barbed hook. And what I tend to do is I'll nick it, first one in the bottom by the elastic, get that barbed hook in there, and then the next one sort of up near the head. So there's a good section of lamprey which hasn't got a hook on it, because 9 times out of 10 a pike will take a dead bait head first. It tends to eat the baits dead first, because the majority of fish that swim in our waters can't swim backwards, and the pike know this, so they go head first, knowing that the fish can only swim further into their mouth. So that's the section of lamprey. So I'm going to sling that out. Again, it's, you know, 2 foot off the bottom, out that silt. I'm sure that blood's going to be coming out. One thing I would say, if you are going to give this a go and you're fishing a running rig, what you need to do is when you cast it, because if I just let the if I let it go down and the lead comes all the way down here, the bait will pop up right up there. So I want the lead to be right by that special bead. So what you do is, as you cast it, just as it's about to hit the surface, put your finger on the line. It sends the lead in. So the lead, rather than going shooting up the line, the lead will come up to the bead, sit down, and that will sit there perfectly. Let's stick it out, see if we can get one. Little jack pike. Slip the glove on and see if we can get these hooks out. There we go. Let's just get our forceps. Well, that's him there, guys. You know, nice small little jack, taking on a section of lamprey, which I've injected some air into, just so it pops off the bottom, so it's not sitting in the silt. See the hooks now. He's just lightly hooked, just in there. There we go. Now, if you are catching jacks, guys, I will tell you, jacks, small pike are worse than the bigger ones. There we go, lovely little jack. Let's pop him back in the net and sit the rod out again and see if we can get another one on this popped up lamprey.